Hello, Star Wars and unboxing fans. Welcome to an unusual episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. Today, I'm not going to be unboxing something new. Instead, I'm going to be showing you something rather not going to call it old. I would call it only about 12 years old. But it is something unique, and it is something I want to share with you. You might even get a hint of it right over here. Since we are in the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, the film release of Return of the Jedi coming up in May, I thought it would be kind of fun to share with you what is probably one of my most valuable items in my collection from the more recent releases of a Star Wars toy product. And I just wanted to share that with you here today. It has to do with the vintage collection, meaning the actual Star Wars vintage collection action figures that have been coming out since around 2007. Hasbro has been releasing with the old vintage cards. I'm trying to see if I can show you one right here, maybe, if I can get it without it falling off. I'm trying to find one that doesn't. Here we go. Stuff like this Gamorrean Guard action figure, okay? Where they have taken, this is VC21, and they have been since releasing almost non-stop since this one came out in 2010. But I believe since like 2007, they've been having some kind of similar releases to this. But maybe 2010 is probably when they started getting into this proper. The VC numbers that are still going on. We're up to like the 260, 270s now. And they release figures from all the original movies, the prequels, the sequels, the TV shows. It's been a really cool thing, and I really do enjoy that they have been continuing this. So I've really enjoyed that they have that. But what I want to share with you is not that, but instead a release of something that came out in 2011, and it was at San Diego Comic-Con. And I can't remember if they released it in more than one Comic-Con, but it is the Revenge of the Jedi box set. And here it is. The Revenge of the... Notice how it says Revenge of the Jedi. Now, why do they say Revenge of the Jedi? Well, for those... no good place to do this. I'll just put it right here. For those that have not been around, the uninitiated, although if you're watching this channel, I think you're probably initiated, but this is what happened. Originally, George Lucas, when he was creating the film Return of the Jedi, untitled at that moment, I believe the way the story goes is that he wanted to call it Revenge of the Jedi. Or no. Did he want it to go Return? I forget. It goes one way. I think he wanted to call it Return of the Jedi, and then some of his creative partners were like, no, you need something a little more punch. You need Revenge of the Jedi. And he was a little bit weary on that, but he okayed it. And then later he came back after they had released some product, a trailer, some posters. Just, after they released a few things, small things, he went back and said, no, I want to call it Return of the Jedi. A Jedi does not seek revenge. So they had to quickly scramble and change everything right before the movie came out to Return of the Jedi. So if you're one of those people that actually ended up with an original Revenge of the Jedi poster, that's worth quite a bit of money nowadays because it was a big, huge change. And at the time in the Star Wars lore, that's pretty crazy. Now, some people might want to put in the comments that I got that story wrong, but I based that story, I believe, on the J.W. Rinsler book about making of Return of the Jedi. And originally, the story I heard was that George Lucas, was going to call it Revenge of the Jedi and then decided to change it to Return. But I think at one point it was going to be Return, then Revenge, and then back to Return. So that's how I believe the story is. I could be a little off on that, but the essential story is that it was going to be Revenge and they changed it to Return. So fast forward, what is it? This is 2011. So what's that? 83, 93, 2003, 2003. So about an odd number of years, 28 years, and Hasbro decided to create a really cool boxed set to release at San Diego Comic-Con. So, really cool stuff. So, obviously, being that it's Revenge / Return of the Jedi, it looks like the incompleted Death Star. pretty cool. And on the back, you will notice that it has a listing of what all the figures are, okay? So I'm actually going to very gently pull the sleeve off. Yeah, San Diego Comic-Con 2011. Now, in and of itself, it's a great box, okay? But I'm going to open it up and hopefully not knock anything over. All right, and as you can see, it includes a whole bunch of figures. Okay, now most of these figures are simple repacks, but the box art, instead of it saying the card art, instead of saying Revenge of the Jedi, Return of the Jedi, says Revenge of the Jedi. So I have a lot of these figures already in my regular pile here. What makes this set, and I'll try to do some adjusting here. What makes this set very unique, it's got two figures that are the most rarest of the new figures. Okay, I gotta be really careful with this because the cardboard right here that joins these two things together is definitely starting to dry out. So, but I want to point out the little figure in the middle of this circle and the little figure in the middle of that circle. And I'll get some close-up photos of this before we put it away. Those are actual VC released numbers. You know what I'm saying? Meaning they are exclusive to this set. But I can't really get to it because it's like on the inside. But these are actual VC numbers as part of the set. So if you want to have a complete set of figures in the vintage collection line, you need to include these two little figures. And you can see them based on the rest of the cards, how they are smaller, right? You see how even the card is smaller? You have the Mouse Droid, you have Salacious Crumb, and they are actual VC numbers. Is that not crazy? So, sadly, most people, if they didn't go to San Diego Comic-Con or if they didn't order this online, and close it now. Yeah, I feared that would happen. There's a little bit of give here, but that's all right. Most people do not have those two. So, because they were the only way you could get those figures. Now, you can get figures, you can get the figures themselves in one way or another. I don't think the figures themselves are that rare. But again, to get them in the card, with the card number, you have to have this set. So, that's what makes this the rarest. I've seen this on sale for $2,500. I think I paid about $150, maybe $100. Back, 2011 figures were roughly $7, $8, $9. So getting 12 figures in a pack wasn't too hard, And if you were patient, collecting stuff off of San Diego Comic-Con exclusives or Star Wars Celebrations exclusives, all of that is like a very delicate game. You have to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait, but not wait too long. Now these things, because it's been way past the time these have come out, it is still, pretty expensive. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. What am I going to do with them? Well, I do expect at some point to sell this collection off. All right. What I'm not 100% sure of is that this is one thing that I might do as a separate piece and sell the rest of the collection separately as one complete VC carded collection, with this one being a separate piece, because I do believe that I don't think I want to put this in a bulk item. Am I going to do it yet? I don't know. It's, again, if anybody wants to make an offer, darthtuba77@gmail.com. Feel free to let me know, and we can discuss. But right now, I like it in the collection. It is a little, with it being cardboard, I am a little nervous about it eventually kind of wearing out. It was not meant to be something, well, it's kind of weird. You would think it wasn't meant to be displayed. I don't know if too many people were going to just open this up and take the toys out and play with them. Not at San Diego Comic-Con. So why they made it, I mean, I probably would have paid more if they actually made a collector case out of plastic. So whatever. It's a cool piece. I have a couple of other ones like this that I'm going to show off in the future, but for now, we're going to go with this one as one of my most expensive items, and I'm real happy to be able to share it with you today. And it was not something that I paid a lot of money for. I just happened to jump on it pretty much right after San Diego Comic-Con, and the value of it just shot up. So I was just lucky. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Check out all my other videos. Check out all the other content on Red 5 Network. And until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you.